Welcome to One Thought Growth. Today we are going to further our exploration of the 4 agreements, and we're finally going to dive into the first agreement. I'm going to share with you why you're a magician. I'm going to share with you some very, very, very powerful tools that you have, that we all have, and really we're going to just understand this first agreement and the power and the amazing capacity that's behind it if we really, really grasp exactly what they're teaching us. So before I begin, please like and subscribe to One Thought Growth. Your support is a big help and greatly appreciated. All right, so the first agreement, I'm excited to do this. So basically, the first thing I want to say is that these agreements are not rules. They're not something that we're trying to be robotic about. It's not necessarily like this thing that's trying to make us perfect. Instead, it's actually something that we're striving for. It's kind of like a code. You know, it's trying to make us better people. It gives us something to think about, something to look up at in the distance so that we can kind of measure ourselves from a day-to-day basis. And as we established in the previous videos, in order to change, we have to get to the root of our being, and that ultimately is our agreements. We can call that our paradigms, our absolute core beliefs that are manifesting through us, through the subconscious, into the conscious. And really, we have to transmute these. We have to change this. So these 4 agreements help us do that. And the first agreement is be impeccable with your word. Now, I want to break this down because, you know, at first glance, it doesn't really give it enough justice for just how powerful it really is. So we have to really dive into what are words, what is language, and really explore this. And the first thing that I want to mention is that humans are magicians. We are creators, and we are bending time and space with our creative abilities. And the way in which we do that, the most common way in which we do that, I should say, is through our words. Because words are not just some thing that we use for communication. They're much, much, much more powerful than that. So let's play a little game. So I encourage you to begin to think of words less as, oh, it's a word or the words that I'm speaking, and really much more so as creative forces. Our words, the words that we use and the way in which we use them with ourselves and with others is literally life-changing. It is not just bending time and space, it's changing reality. Because as we spoke about earlier in the previous videos, reality is malleable. It's a dream-like state that we're in. And what keeps the dream going is the words that we're using. The ideas are linked to words. So I love to study etymology, and we can learn a lot by studying etymology. But nonetheless, they wrote in our English language that we spell the words, right? We spell them, and we also cast spells. And that's because words are like spells. They're magical. They have this really, really fundamental power behind them that cannot be overlooked. And once again, that's because the words that we use, the words that we think about, the words that we hear all around us change our perception of reality and ultimately then the dream. Whoa! That's mind-boggling. And it's mind-boggling because the words are how the dream continues. And as I mentioned, we are magicians, so we can literally change our reality. We can change our dream. We can transform it. We can transmute it. We can create. We can destroy. We can do whatever we want because we're extremely, extremely, extremely powerful. And our power lies at the foundation, ultimately, in the words that we use. Because the words have become not just a form of communication, but they're also the way in which we organize the world around us with our ideas, our thoughts. And that's because we think in words now. We don't think in images or symbols or anything like that, at least not the majority of us. Many, many, many of us, the high majority, think in words. So we have to ask ourselves, what words are going through our minds? What loops are we creating? Are we creating loops of self-love? Are we creating loops of possibility, of things like this? Or are we, being rejecting our own self, putting our own self down? These are things that we have to ask ourselves. So in order for us to change reality, we have to change the words that we're using, because reality is a mirror. It's going to reflect back what is coming from us, what is coming out of us. And that's why this agreement, be impeccable with your word, is so important. Now, impeccable, if we take a look at that word, I-M means without, okay? Peccable comes from peccare, which means, it's in Latin, means basically to sin or to go against. Now, we have this notion that's really been programmed into us ultimately that sinning is involved with God and all these different things, and that's one part of it. But ultimately, at the root of it, the etymology of it, sinning is going against yourself. I mean, in the Bible, it says that we are all, in the image of God. So us going against ourselves is us going against God. So what that means is we don't want to speak against ourselves anymore. We don't want to think thoughts that go against who we are. We almost want to become working towards like going on our own team, empowering ourselves. So ways in which we do that is we get really, really wise with the language that we use. If we're going to talk about ourselves, if we're going to declare things about ourselves to other people, we really think about the way in which we're saying it. This, again, is not about being perfect. It's about being diligent and aware, self-awareness. That's what this is all about. That's what all the esoteric teachings are about. That's what all the ancient wisdom is about. It's about being aware of the nature of the things that we're using, being aware of the nature of the power that you have. And the power that you have, that I have, are in the words that we use, the way that we communicate, how we share information with each other and with ourselves. And that includes how we talk about other people. He goes into depth about, how gossip is a very negative thing to do because you're not being impeccable, you're chatting about other people. And I just want to say, it's not that you can't chat about other people, but again, how do you do it? What do you say? How do you say it? Are your words very negative towards the people, or are they encouraging? Such as, it saddens me to see her so upset. I don't understand the decisions that she's making, but I wish the best for her. Or she's an idiot for doing that. You know what I mean? Like there's ways to approach how we speak about other people. So again, we have to be wordsmith. We have to be really, really mindful. And my throat just went there. Mindful about how and what we speak. And this goes back again to how it is that our dream is formulated. It's through what we pay attention to. There's an axiom in the hula tradition that is, energy goes where attention flows. So what are we paying attention to? What words are coming into our life? And again, this is empowering because when we understand, when you really experientially grasp the power that are behind words, the words that you're hearing, you're going to be mindful of, do I believe this? Am I going to give power to this? Do I even want to listen to this? I respect their opinion, but I'm not going to give any more thought into it because is it feeding me fear or is it feeding me encouragement, right? Love, respect, things like this. So this is also encouraging us to be very, very aware of the environments that we're in and how much power we are giving to the words around us. And again, this point is super interesting and it absolutely fascinates me. It's the notion or the fact that the words are not just in our communication anymore. They are our internal world. So much of our internal world because we think in language, we think in words. So they're not just linked to the external about what we speak, but it's also, again, our internal experience. So be impeccable with our word is challenging us to be impeccable both on the outside and the inside. It's shining a light on how it is that we can, again, heal this emotional poison. And this is something that I've been training for a long, long time. And what I can share with you is that I have found a lot of emotional peace from this, a lot of emotional stability. Before I knew about these things, I might have been quicker to talk about someone else or to think about someone else's business. Now there's a much more indifference of, hey, good luck, live your life. It's a totally different feeling. And then before you know it, slowly and steadily, you just start changing. You just start feeling more calm with yourself, more calm with other beings. You're more aware of what words you're picking up on, what words you're believing. And again, it's like a mental exercise that you start doing every day where, oh, do I want to feed into this? I know how powerful words are. I know how powerful. Am I just going to believe this? It's not even about the other people. It's about your own life, your own dream. It's not about, is this a conspiracy? Are these people telling me the truth? That's just getting lost again. It's just about creating a shield around yourself with a sword and saying, what do I want to give power to? I know how powerful words are. Am I going to give all my power away? Let me speak through love. Let me speak through self-love. Let me think about myself in a way that is transmuting self-love with compassion towards myself, compassion towards others. And then slowly but surely you begin to transform. It's not an idea. This isn't a theory. This is a fact. This has been proven to work. This is ancient teachings. So I'm going to dive into this topic in the next video. This is going to be part 1. But once again, be impeccable with your word. Please leave a comment down below. Once again, my name is Zach Pontrello, and I welcome you to One Thought Growth.